Hello, everybody, and welcome. This is a special meeting of the Mason County Commission, Thursday, February 1st. We will begin with the Pledge of Allegiance. Commissioner Drexler, would you do us the honor?
Thank you. Consider this an honor. I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call, please.
Commissioner, District 1, Randy Netherland.
I'm here.
Commissioner, District 2, Kevin Shooting.
Here.
Commissioner, District 3, Terry Drexler.
Here.
Next up is item number 3, which is an action to be considered. It's the adoption of emergency ordinances for interim procedures to determine water adequacy. Ordinance amending the community development fee schedule and set a public hearing on February 20th, 2018, 9:30 a.m. Dave Wyndham, leading the discussion, please.
Good afternoon, Commissioners. For our staff report, in response to the state legislature approving PSSB 6091, it provides a long-term solution to the first decision. We prepared an emergency ordinance, actually 2 ordinances, relating to the use of permit-exempt water withdrawals for development. This has been prepared as an emergency ordinance so we can move immediately into completing permitting processes and have the ability also, the second ordinance is so we can receive funds. So one ordinance changes our regulations, one ordinance just allows us to do the funding. And we also are asking that we adopt schedule a public hearing for February 20th. We would then prepare a final permit ordinance similar to this one to take through the standard public review and approval process within the next 60 days. Well, we have to within 60 days for emergency. We can do it within the 3-week process as outlined, and puts us prior to the 60-day GMA compliance proceedings. This ordinance differs from anything we've done before in that, pursuant to Senate Bill 6091, hydraulic in-stream flow impairment analyses and mitigation are no longer required for new groundwater withdrawal applications. An applicant, and I will go into different wires, may now obtain approval for the groundwater withdrawal exempt from permitting under RCW 9044.050 for domestic use only, with a maximum annual average withdrawal of 3,000 gallons for Wire 22 and 950 gallons for Wires 14, 15. And they'll also pay a fee of $500, of which $350 goes from the county to the Department of Ecology. We retain $150 for administrative purposes, and we must record, for the titles, restrictions must be recorded. And let's go into our slide presentation. It's very short, 3-4 slides. All right, this is just an orientation to the map. In the top, we have Wire 16. It goes up into Jefferson County. To the right of that, in the pink, we have Wire 15, which is going over to Kitsap County. And the purple is Wire 14, which is primarily Mason County, and Wire 22 to the west side, which goes over into Grays Harbor County. There it goes. All right, so we have changes in Title 6, which you have in front of you. These come straight out of the new Senate Bill 6091. First thing is any permit groundwater withdrawal associated with the water well constructed before January 19th of this year is deemed to have evidence of adequate water supply under this section. An applicant whose building location is in Water Resource Inventory Area 14, 15, and 22 shall pay a fee of $500 to Mason County and record water restrictions or limitations with the property title, except as is noted in 4 of this subsection. An applicant whose building location is within Wire 14 and 15 may obtain approval for withdrawal exempt from permitting under RCW 9044.050 for domestic use only, with a maximum average annual withdrawal of 950 gallons per day per connection. Next page. An application whose building is within Wire 22 may obtain approval for withdrawal exempt from permitting under RCW 944.050, that should be 90. For domestic use only, with a maximum annual average withdrawal of 3,000 gallons per day per connection. So just to be clear, Wires 14, 15 are 950 gallons per day. Wire 22 is 3,000 gallons per day per connection. Upon the issuance of a drought emergency order under RCW 4383B 405, Ecology may curtail withdrawal of groundwater exempt from permitting under RCW 9044-050 and approved under the subsection C to no more than 350 gallons per day per connection for indoor use only. And that applies to virus 14 and 15. Notwithstanding the limitation to no more than 350 gallons per day per connection for indoor use only, an applicant may use groundwater exempt from permitting to maintain a fire control buffer during a drought emergency order. Those are the changes to Title VI, water adequacy.
Do you know how Ecology came up with the gallons for each of the virus?
No. So, I mean, 350 gallons doesn't align with our septic system code. It's 10 gallons off. I mean, it's close enough. But they're not aligned really with anything we've done before.
There was a number associated with each of the virus based on something, and you don't really know. Is that something that we can dive into later?
We can.
I think
So
it's-
I think there's a process of negotiating when the bill came through the four corners, which is the top, Republican top, Democrat Senate, same in the House, negotiate these things. And they negotiate them wire by wire across the state.
Right.
So,
I'm just curious, there must be some sort of methodology they use to apply it.
yeah, I don't know, but I know who to ask.
I'm saying I would assume that when the public is brought in to testify and have direct interaction with us, they're gonna wanna know those, answer to that question as well, so I have to try to have that for them.
Okay. The process, as we're going to take this forward, it's going to be pretty much entirely downstairs and within public health. We're going to attach just a simple block into the current water adequacy form. So when a person comes in, they fill out their water adequacy form, they'll check the box that says when their well was drilled. And then it'll either not apply or it does apply, and then if it doesn't apply, we'll track which wire they're in, they pay their fee, and they're given a form to take over to the assessor's office and have recorded. So, and that will list their gallonage at either 950 or 3,000. So, the next piece of this is a Title 14 change. Also, and this is just a direct copy from the legislation. It says all applicants shall manage stormwater runoff on site to the extent practicable by maximizing infiltration, including using low impact development techniques as defined in the most current version of the Stormwater Manual for Western Washington, produced by Washington State Department of Ecology, or pursuant to stormwater management requirements adopted by Mason County, whichever is more stringent. And we actually changed this a little bit in our language, just to say the most current stormwater manual for the state. That way, as it changes, we don't have to keep coming back to this process again. So,
And that's what we did with the comp plan as well.
right. So rather than go through this each time using this language that's in the bill, we changed it to reflect that it just updates. If the stormwater manual gets updated, we've adopted it, and it goes to it just keeps moving forward. And really, this will, I think, solidify our processes across all of our development work, because right now, we're still operating in some cases under the 2005 stormwater manual. So this will bring us up to speed for stormwater across the board and make it consistent throughout the county.
Is there any barometer for what, to the extent practicable?
Well, so
Judgment
and we've had that discussion with the planners and builders. We sat around the table and talked about it. What does that sound like? Well, we might be able to do water infiltration in trenches, but that may not work on a steep slope. You don't want to lubricate your house so it goes down the hill. So it's going to have to be site specific. So other than that, those are the changes we have. It aligns with the state code, and we're just asking to adopt this and then ask for a hearing in 3 weeks.
Any questions for staff? Hearing none, I will entertain a motion.
Mr. Chair, I move adoption of emergency ordinance for interim procedures to determine water adequacy and ordinance, adopting amendments to the community development fee schedules, and setting a hearing for February 20th, 2018 to comply with RCW 36.70.790 and RCW 36.70.795, which allows for the adoption of interim official controls as long as a public hearing is held within 60 days of adoption.
One second.
It has been moved and seconded for the adoption of the emergency ordinance for interim procedures to determine water adequacy and ordinance adopting amendments to the community development fee schedules and set a hearing for February 20th, 2018 to comply with RCW 36.70.790 and RCW 36.70.795, which allows for the adoption of interim official controls as long as the public hearing is held within 60 days of adoption. Is there any discussion?
Thank you for your hard work, thank you for bringing this so quickly to us.
Thanks. And what I would like to do as soon as we get this vote done is put this on the website.
Great. Comments?
Yeah, just echo that. I appreciate everybody's work on this. I know it's been a hurried couple of, about a week or so, 2 weeks at the most, and look forward to a good public hearing in a couple of weeks.
And again, I echo the same, thank you very much, because what we're doing, why we're having an emergency ordinance and interim procedures to make sure that we can continue to do business as we need to throughout the county until all this is figured out. The public will be given an opportunity to have full input on February 20th. So if you have an issue, please feel welcome to come and join us. With that being said, anything further? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
So aye, opposed, motion carries. Hearing no objection, we are at the end of our agenda, we are adjourned.